Alright, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video. Something a little different. You guys saw the title thumbnail. This is an F3 RR. Now, we've done a first ride years ago on an F3 RR, but this one's a little special. Obviously, this is an all black one, a little bit more my style. I do love the carbon. I forgot if the red one, I think the red one did have the same carbon, just probably flat, not glossy like this. So this with the black, it kind of pops. But the special thing about this thing is that this has a custom decatted exhaust, which you can kind of see right here with all the welds, similar to what I have on the Super Veloce 1000, my new bike, and my Rush. So it has that decatted thing, so this thing is going to sound like a proper bike, and you guys know MV Agusta sound very unique and amazing. So I'm excited to see what this thing can do and how it sounds. So yeah, without further ado, the F3 RR. And yeah, this bike makes about 148 horsepower, so it's not too bad, but obviously it's not a 200 horsepower bike, so we'll see how she rides. 900 miles on it, cold engine. Let's check out the cold start. There we go. It's definitely still tame. I'm assuming it's because of this acro muffler. I expected a little more aggressiveness out of it, but I'm assuming usually when you have a muffler like this, when you open it up, it's kind of like the BMW acro muffler. Kind of even has a similar shape. The one that comes OEM on the BMW M1000 and some of the S1000s is that it actually, when you open it up, you get to hear it like more and more. It might have some sort of like valve in it or something like that. At least it does look clean with that heat shield and all that. This thing has been tracked, so she's been through it a little bit already, so I don't have to feel bad riding it like when I ride my Super Veloce, since that thing is still in the braking period.
This bike, it comes with the rear cowl cover that matches, so paint matched, like with the silver stripe, like black cowl cover.
Oh, that's really cool. Now we're going back to regular shifting again. I was literally thinking yesterday when I was riding my V4R, or technically in the last video for you guys, I want to take, because I've changed it on the Rush. Oh, I forgot that you have to actually cut the fairings to change it to GP shift on these MV Agustas right here. Well, this is a little different. This is very different actually. Holy, look, the shifter is all the way up here. I don't even know if you can switch this to GP shift like at all. It goes through the frame of the bike, the shifter. That's very interesting. Wow, we will. Yeah, I definitely expect it to be louder, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, has a little bit of a noise, but it's not like anything crazy. But we'll see, like I said, when we open her up. I think just that acro muffler is muffling it like majorly, so we'll see. It has a lot of like a mechanical sound somewhere around here. Whatever that may be. Sounds a little interesting. Oh, I have mirrors. It's been a while since I've had something with mirrors. Are these adjustable at all? Maybe. Oh yeah, they are. You kind of got to push on the mirror itself. Man, I miss riding with mirrors. It's nice to be able to see behind you. Yeah, it's definitely extremely muffled. It's not similar to like my Rush or my Super Veloce. Those with just that like little link pipe, but also they had a proper, I feel like, well, I wouldn't say a better exhaust, because this has the acro thingy with it, so I feel like it should have been the same. Does have a quickshifter, auto blipper, very smooth, very nice. It definitely picks up, and it doesn't feel like it needs any more power, to be honest. It has a really, really good pickup. It feels really nice and stable. It just doesn't feel like it's lacking, to be honest. I mean, that was barely a pull, but still, you guys can see it, and I can feel that pickup. Like this is 6th gear in a high speed, and if I twist the throttle, this thing just goes. I would say I'm a little disappointed in the sound. I thought it's going to be a little more similar to my actual Rush and my Super Veloce, but clearly seems like that is not the case. It's still very, very muffled. Like, I can hear it,
and if I'm pretty sure this is the triple engine, so maybe that could be a factor, just like a smaller, you know, engine. But I feel like regardless of it, it just sounds muffled. Like I can hear the tone of this bike trying to come out, but it's like it feels just restricted. I mean, yeah, the bike just glides. Like, feels really good actually. This is a really good middle class bike. I don't remember it being like that, but I remember one thing from riding it the first time, doing my first ride on it, is that when I rode it, I remember saying that I would really like one of these for the track, just because of the way it felt from that first ride. That's mainly what I remember. It's been a couple years. I ride a lot of bikes, guys, so give me a little break. This is almost like riding it for the first time. Slightly more familiar with it a little bit more now, not only because I've ridden it once before, but mainly because I have a couple MV Agustas and I've been riding MV Agustas a little bit more. So like overall, you know, when you ride a certain brand, you kind of get a vibe of how these bikes ride or supposed to feel, which makes you a little more comfortable on them. Yeah, this is where I felt. I feel like when you're like half open the throttle, this bike feels amazing. When you're fully pinned, that's when you feel the difference between this and a full-on like leader bike. I mean, this bike honestly feels really, really good. Dare I say it feels a little bit more balanced on my Super Veloce, but we haven't got a chance to open up my Super Veloce, and I think mainly this feels a little bit more balanced than my Super Veloce because of the fact that I did lower my Super Veloce and gave it a little bit of that feel that I told you guys, that the rear kind of goes out a little bit further on me, and it feels like the rear is sliding out. This just feels so stable. And I'm assuming it has that check engine light because of the whole little link pipe situation. Beautiful, beautiful. It just feels so solid and smooth. It's like easy to keep your line with this thing. I hear the little pops and crackles on the downshift. Very minor, but they're there. I think this acro pipe is very like muffling and restricting. That's mainly what it is, I feel like. But yeah, like it definitely changed my mind real quick. When I first got on it, I was like, the sound is a little odd, it's a little mechanical. It feels like, I don't know, I think it's psychological because I get on it, I'm like, it's not a leader bike, so it's a little underwhelming. But as soon as I open it up right here, this thing feels like amazing. And I feel like I could definitely keep up with a lot of leader bikes with this thing, obviously until it gets to like really high speeds, or if those leader bikes are like full pinning it, then over there it's a little obvious. But you're already doing like really high speeds at that point. You know what I need to do? I need to ride this and a V2 kind of back to back, because they are supposedly on that same level. Really nice quickshifter, man. It's really smooth. It's a lot less clunky than my other bikes. I feel like I don't know if the transmission is like very different, but this transmission feels a lot smoother than my leader bike MV Agustas, which are the Super Veloce and the Rush. It just feels really smooth. It has a really nice click to it, but you don't feel like any sort of lag, I would say. That's the only thing that I feel like the leader bikes of MV Agusta lack, is that like gearbox needs to be a little bit better and more refined. You gotta also keep in mind that this bike does not have an electronic stabilizer or a stabilizer at all, so it's a lot more raw and you gotta keep in mind that if you get like some sort of slapper or imbalances, that you gotta take care of it. I'm just impressed by the fact that, you know, in higher up speeds, you just twist the throttle and this thing has really good pickup all the way up in 6th gear. That to me is like definitely a very impressive thing. It's not like your typical 600s. Obviously it makes more horsepower and has 200 XCC than your typical 600s, but still just the fact that you don't really need to downshift at all. Like if you're in 6th gear, you just hit it and the bike will pick up. No problem. And I just love how good it feels, like entering a corner or anything like that. The bike just feels solid. It's like one unit. This honestly makes me really want to ride an F4 because this is technically the baby brother of that 4. So I wonder if that 4 rides more similar to this, because obviously my Rush and my Super Veloce are a little different from this platform. The Rush obviously is technically the Brutale platform, and technically so is the Super Veloce. The Super Veloce 1000, the new bike, is pretty much like the Super Veloce platform, which is the 800 mixed in with the Brutale engine. So I'm assuming more refined and all that. Don't get me wrong, I love my Super Veloce and everything, but this gives you a more of a day-to-day normal riding experience. Like it just feels like it just rides fine, like it's how it's supposed to. Sometimes you ride these like middle class bikes and it kind of reminds you how chill riding can be. Like you can have fun. That's the beautiful thing about like this class of motorcycles. It's nice for someone that needs to commute on a bike but also wants something that looks good and it feels good and still can pick up if you'd like it to. You know what I mean? It's that good like all-around balance. And the leader bikes have that tendency of like making you always want to full send it. It's pretty hard, like especially I was riding the V4R like I said last time, and I feel like in low speeds the bike is just like go. Like it's not really as fun and enjoyable until you're like smashing on it. This on the other hand is different from that. Like it's just such a nice thing for people that like, hey, I've been riding for a while, and you guys can take this for like, you know, some sort of advice, because you guys always ask me what you should be getting, blah blah blah, when you should be upgrading. And what I'm saying is that, like, let's say you've been riding for like half a year. I can't put a time frame on it because it's really dependent on the person and how long it needs you to be comfortable on that bike. But as long as you're comfortable on that vehicle that you're riding, that's when you should pretty much look into upgrading. And you know, you have that itch, but you want to make sure that like, hey, I'm very comfortable riding this bike. You know, riding is secondhand nature now. It's not something that I have to think about when I go on a ride. Like everything I'm doing right now is just pure muscle memory. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I just been riding for a while and it's just normal. When you get to that level and you want to upgrade and you feel comfortable, this is just where it comes. Like, hey, if you're someone that needs to commute a lot but wants something cool, wants something fun, you know, it obviously, I know this bike can sound good. That's why I said I'm disappointed, because I know MV Agustas sound like one of the best in the market. They just sound extremely exotic. That's why I'm a little disappointed, because I thought it's going to be louder with this link pipe. And I'm pretty sure it's not the link pipe's fault. Obviously it made it better from the stock huge resonator, but it's that Acura muffler I know is like extremely muffling this entire experience right now. This is just a perfect bike between aesthetics, feel, sound if you have the correct exhaust on it, and just kind of like overall, hey, I just want to ride, commute, and have a good time, and not always get in trouble because of the leader bikes. If I didn't have such an obsession with not only rare bikes but also fast motorcycles, I would definitely love one of these. There you go, Mr. MV. This one's for you. Not a bad top speed, as you guys see, for a middle class bike to hit 180 is definitely pretty impressive. Pretty much bone stock. This exhaust doesn't do anything for power. Sure, it'll reduce weight, I'll give you that. But currently without a tune, it's just messing up the air-to-fuel ratio. So if anything, it could be harming it slightly. Also, what I do enjoy about this thing is just that there's something about having a bike that is not obnoxiously loud, especially with having mirrors. It gives me a sense of like full security that I can like, okay, I can watch my back, you know, there's no crazy cars or cops, undercover cops like that guy right there behind me, and also at the same time, I feel like I'm not freaking out people, because, you know, like when you're so obnoxious and you actually get on the bike, these bikes do get extremely loud. So in that sense, it kind of gives you that feeling of like, hey, I'm flying under the radar, especially on a full black bike and everything. So there's something to that. I love my obnoxious bikes, don't get me wrong, and I prefer that because I do always argue that they are safer actually, because cars hear you coming, so they know you're around them a little bit more, because it's hard to see us motorcycles, we're small, so you got to be a little bit louder so the vehicles around you can see you and not hit you, hopefully. But at the same time, like I said, there's something sometimes that is kind of nice about being like all stealthy and kind of low-key, and you just have like a nice calm sound that you can enjoy and hear, but like, you know, you're not blowing everyone's eardrums.
Well. I have a mirror too. I've been checking if I'm recording through the screen. I think you'll be pleased. 180.
180 on the
Yeah.
pretty good. It's a super sport bike.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you, when you pulled onto the on-ramp and were like going away from me, down, dude, the sound was like good.
Really?
From like 200-300 yards, yeah.
What? I was complaining about it. I'm not impressed with the sound. That's the one thing.
Whatever.
I thought it was going to be more exciting with that link pipe. I think the Acro muffler is majorly restricting.
Definitely, after putting this on, I do realize definitely doesn't need two mufflers like it had for sure.
No, at all. And yeah, I don't understand. It should have been like this stock, and then I feel like someone needs to put like an actual like shorty can on it, and then it'll sound good. Because I was telling people MVs like sound like top tier for me with exoticness. You don't get to hear that with this.
I know that you're sponsored by SC, so the SC for this is actually the best sounding.
I believe it.
That's the one that
I believe it.
had people turn around and traffic and be like, dude, I thought there was a Lamborghini behind me. It sounded so exotic.
The triple engine. No, that's the thing about MVs. They just sound super exotic. So like that's why I'm kind of like, I wanted more from the sound. But everything besides that, man, like this bike is honestly like really sick. When I first rode it, like before I actually like get on it, I was like, underwhelming. It's the psychological factor because I'm like, I'm not really into bikes like this. But it's such a fun bike if you're just trying to have fun, mob when you want to, and at the same time, like, it still looks the part. Like, nobody's going to look at this and be like, oh, it's a little bike. You know what I mean?
If you're on the lighter side, like, it still has just enough sauce to, like, do a freeway mob with leader bikes, like, if you have to. Like, just enough.
Yeah. No, it can keep up for sure, unless, because most of the time when you're mobbing like with leader bikes, we're not like full pinning it 24/7. You know what I mean? We're just like going kind of moderately fast, which this thing can definitely keep up because you just need to go a little bit harder. Obviously, it won't keep up if everyone's full pin, but that's like such a rare occasion. We're never like full pin, full tuck. You know what I mean? We're just like casually mobbing, and in that scenario, this can definitely keep up. That being said, don't get any ideas. I still like your F4 better. And it got me wondering. I was wondering how the F4 rides, because this is a different platform, right?
Yeah, it's a different platform completely.
Yeah.
The
So
F4 will actually ride maybe more like a more like rudimentary version of your Super Veloce 1000.
okay.
Like a more
Okay. So I was thinking in the video that it would be more similar to this because the Super Veloce is different.
big.
Okay. Okay.
You should do it. Let's just ride. You can ride my F4.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm gonna change all the fluids, do the bleed the brakes, do a bunch of stuff to it. Have Mikey get it like perfect, and then you'll be the first to ride.
Perfect. It'll be my first F4 to ride too, Mr. MV's, and I'll be his first to ride his bike. That'd be sick.
Hopefully too. Soon we might get a demo F3 Competizione, the new one that's coming out.
The one with the carbon wheels and all.
So carbon wheels, so it's 32 pounds lighter, 32.9.
Then this?
Yeah, 32.9 pounds lighter than this. And,
What? How? That's crazy.
Stuff different Acura exhaust. That's actually full headers, I think, so full titanium.
So it's a full
carbon
exhaust.
wheels. I think they did something to the subframe. They just pulled weight, but in race spec, so you have to take the mirrors off and the license plate frame holder and stuff. But
Yeah, I mean, that's sick, but 30 pounds is huge, especially on a bike that's already very light. Man, I need to ride that one then.
And I don't know how they did it all yet, technically, but 12 more horsepower.
12 more horsepower and 30 pounds lighter.
Yep, 160.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yeah, in kgs, it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio bike, like 1 horsepower to 1.
That's crazy for a middle-class bike.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but MV is on the come up. They're doing the right things. That's impressive. 12 more horsepower on the same technical platform and 30 pounds lighter, and it comes with carbon wheels. I don't think there's any like middle class.
It's all matte, like all matte with silver and matte carbon and matte gold and matte BSTs. And and it comes with Ohlins. That's another thing that saved the weight.
That's crazy.
Ohlins rear and front. And it comes with like a super race style triple, like it's like a machined triple.
All right, listen, I had fun with this, but why did you bring me that one? Come on now. Why are you blue balling me right now?
It's coming. It's not produced yet, but they're coming.
Okay. When it comes, I definitely want to ride that thing. Because honestly, for a middle class bike, I think at that point it's going to knock out Ducati out of the park. Because, I mean, this already has a ton of carbon. It looks really cool. It's going to have carbon wheels. Ohlins, like you're saying, insane specs. You're talking pretty much about 165 horsepower. 160. Okay, because this is 48. So 160 horsepower, 30 pounds lighter than this. You know what? When that comes, bring it, and I'll try to find someone with a Ducati V2, and we'll do a race. Because those are the top in the market, in the middle class. There's nothing else, right?
In my opinion, this thing spanks the previous gen V2 and the new one with the less horsepower and stuff. I don't see how it could keep up
Yeah.
at all, personally. But I don't know.
I know. We just got to, show the people.
You have to get one out here.
Yeah.
Ducati, I'm calling you out.
This is fun. And you guys know me. I love Ducati. I love my V4. I always say it's one of my favorite riding bikes. But I think when it comes to this middle class category, I don't know, man. Just this already rides like really good. So I can't believe with that much of a difference. And I'm pretty sure that's what I like about MV. I feel like they actually listen to the people and they've updated the electronics. Like when I first got the Rush, I was complaining the main thing about the electronics. That versus 2 years after, like next year it was already better, and now my Super Veloce is like a ton better. The only one downside is the what is it called, of the leader bikes, where this one is a little better. It's probably different, but the gearbox, I think the gearbox of like the Brutale and the Super Veloce could be a little improved. It's a little clunky. It could be a little smoother. Besides that, that's literally the only thing I can.
So you like this one better, smoother?
Smoother. It's a lot smoother.
Yeah, I mean
That's what I've noticed.
Our leader bike has a notoriously I wouldn't say clunky and mechanically feeling gearbox. You like know when you're shifting.
Yeah.
It feels a little more like
This
this
this is a good balance though.
It feels more like BMW-ish, where it's very
But that's the thing. BMW is like butter smooth. Sometimes you don't know when you're shifting. This you actually feel like a click still. So it's a nice like in between. That's what I'm saying. This one I think they kind of perfected it. So they just need to take whatever they did with this gearbox, put it on the new leader bikes, and since so many people are hating on my Super Veloce, maybe they bring the F4 style back on the leader bikes. I hate you guys. I love the Super Veloce. I think the Super Veloce looks really, really sick. I love that like retro futuristic look. It's just different. I like different if it's done right, and I think with the Super Veloce 1000 it's done right.
If you watch World Supersport 2, like this bike does pretty good. And in 2021, Italian Supersport, which is called CIV, the champion, the winner, like the 2021 was on an F3.
Bro, I believe it. This bike honestly felt really, really good. Like any kind of corner, anything like that, it just felt solid. It's easy to like stay in your line, you know what I mean? It doesn't kind of like, you don't have to like hold it in a line. It just kind of like holds its own in a way.
Steel trellis is so much less nervous feeling than the Ducati V2, in my opinion. It's just like nice.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. I actually had more fun than I expected. But I remember I was telling them from the first time I rode the F3, which was a little different from this one, but still like an older model, I said like it would be a really cool like track bike. That's from what I remember the most about it. And this just kind of confirms it. And also, I think ever since, I don't know, what year was the one that I rode?
The first one that you rode was the first year, so it was a 2021.
Okay, and what is this?
Different. This is a 2023.
2023, 2 years.
Between them that some people don't know yet. The one that you first rode had that that halogen light that was still kind of yellow.
Okay.
Now for 2022 plus, it changed to this sweet like double stacked LED running light. Like
So it just looks more modern. But what about the electronics?
Yeah, the electronics for MV are always being refined. That's why you
Okay.
see the difference between like your Rush and that 2024 Brutality.
Yes, exactly.
Always, yeah. Software is always.
And it's noticeable. That's a cool thing. And also the forged carbon right here.
Oh yeah.
That is so sick.
Even like this part being carbon.
Bro, why don't they do all this on the F4?
This fender is inspired by the old.
This is
Moto2 racing
sick.
MotoGP. So we were racing in MotoGP and Moto2 for a while, and it's like basically like.
Would this fit on my Super Veloce? I low-key love this.
The Line 4s, I think, have
Probably.
a slightly different.
Yeah,
motor, but
probably
it
not.
doesn't fit on like a base F3 or any of the other triples, but we can try.
Okay. This is I really like this style. Oh, wait. My Super Veloce has the entire, like, wheel cover thing. So, never mind. Yeah, and it's already full carbon. I just really like how it's, like, molded together, like the lines here and everything. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it also has cool stuff I like better than other, like.
It's definitely fun to look at, and especially in this color, this is very much my vibe, all black.
Where our brake is mounted too, like no like crazy linkage to get to the thing. Like it's just like rear set and like pedal, like coming.
Yeah.
To
One problem I've noticed, look at the other side, bro. This is going to be impossible to change to GP shift. The shifter literally goes through the frame. That's crazy.
yeah. So what happens? I always forget, but it goes. Yeah,
Oh, so there is a way.
yeah.
Okay.
It goes. I'm forgetting right now, but I think there's like a rod that comes through the back here and it goes down or something, or it goes like on the outside here. But no, you can do it.
That's the one thing. Please, MV Agusta, if you're listening, make it easy to switch it to GP shift. Dude, I can't talk. To switch it to GP shift, because like BMW, Honda, most brands just have like a little, it's like a bracket, and you just switch this from one point to the other, and boom, done. One bolt literally takes like 1 minute.
My buddy Massimo, he did it I think with Spider rear set.
I see. Yeah, I definitely need to change it on my Super Veloce like ASAP, because now I'm going back and forth, and now it's getting annoying because I keep going back and forth. So I'm pretty sure I figured something out for. Oh, and the fact that hopefully on the new ones the auto blipper does work with GP shift, because that's a really big thing. Because on my Rush it doesn't. So besides those two,
I know that we have the code because we've applied it to bikes that were used on the track.
yeah.
Hopefully soon it'll be available to like maybe a dealer can turn it on, but you can't turn it on in your dash, but a dealer could at least turn it on.
Activate it for me. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Mikey did say he might have a solution for it. He's just been so busy, you know. So hopefully we'll try test it on the Rush, and then we'll do it on my Super Veloce as well.
The cool thing about the MV network now, especially in Northern Way, there's a lot of passionate people like trying to solve these things and make everything better.
Which is huge, man. That's what it's all about, like perfecting these bikes, because it's already like so far up. It just needs like small little touches here and there, and they'll be like pretty much as perfect as it can get, and people can get to enjoy them how they like it to be. All right, you guys. This is probably a very long video because I actually took a slightly longer tour because I definitely wanted to ride and feel the bike instead of just doing like a little top speed. But hey, this thing did 180. You'll see the video, so you'll be happy. It didn't really pass. It hit the 180 and then went back to like 178, like stayed at that. Yeah, so it was a good like 178, 180. But hey, for a bike that's not tuned, nothing, this exhaust is probably harming it more than benefiting it because of the air-to-fuel ratio.
But at least now too, before with that canister, it didn't pop. Now at least it pops.
I heard it, yeah, here and there.
Little flame, which is
I heard it here and there in the D cells.
get this like integrated race look, you know. It's
Yeah. No, definitely, it's fun to look at, and you need to install this thing ASAP.
Oh yeah.
Next time, don't give me bikes with these. Come on, man.
Imagine a nice, perfectly colored.
No, we don't want to imagine. We want to see it.
Look it on our website.
I'm speaking for the people. Alright, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just cool to try something different, you know, a middle-class bike, something different that I don't do often on the channel. But when it's a cool special bike like this one, I'm always down to give it a shot and make a video for you guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe, and shout out for Mr. MV for bringing this beautiful F3 straight from the truck, and he brought it for me so I can do this little review top speed thing for it. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and ride safe.